Hey, Dan Passarelli here. Well, we've had a pretty good run over the past basically about a month. And we've talked about that a little bit. But let's talk about the future. Can this run be sustained? Is the market overbought and potentially forming a rounded top? Or can it keep going? Well, what that comes down to is the news. And it's all the news we've been watching. But this week on Thursday, we have the core PCE price index and everything that comes along with it. And the PCE price index is the Fed's preferred inflation gauge. So lots of eyes are going to be on that. And 2 weeks after that is the next and final Fed meeting of the year. That is going to be on December 13th. And right now, the consensus is that rates are likely to be left unchanged with a 96.8% chance of that happening, given the information backed out of the Fed funds contract at CME Group. There is a 3.2% chance priced in to rates being raised a quarter basis point and no chance of them being cut. So that's what's going on with that. But as far as the inflation data that we're looking to see, we've got a consensus for the core. Now, the core is the most important part. The core of the consensus is a 0.2% increase. And the forecast, and this is from the website Trading Economics, the forecast is for 0.3%. Now, I'm not exactly sure, to tell you the truth, how they differentiate consensus versus forecast, but they do. So either way, even if it comes in at the consensus of 0.2%, that still puts us at 2.4% inflation for the year, which is still above the target rate of 2%. And remember, before inflation started, the target used to be below 2%. Now the target's 2%. So we're still looking at probably too high of an inflation rate. Now, next week, no, not next week. This week on Friday, we should have the monthly unemployment. Am I correct in that? Now, hold on a second. I'm looking at the calendar here. No, that's interesting. It appears to be scheduled for next Friday. Typically, it is the first Friday of the month, but it appears to be scheduled for Friday the 8th. As we get closer to the end of the week, I'm going to double check that because that seems a little strange to me. But that is going to be basically the second half of the key data. The most key data points are the PCE and the monthly unemployment data. So that's going to give us a bunch of information. So that's going to tell the story of whether we are forming this rounded top, because rounded tops take longer to form than these sharp bottoms typically do. And we do have just today, the RSI sort of is kissing that 70 level. If we cross down below it tomorrow, more often than not, we tend to see a follow through from my observation, lower. But if we end up with an update tomorrow, we could see an extended rally, at least for the short term. So I hope that commentary helps. This is Dan Passarelli, Trade Smart.